the truth.
Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Guys, we got a little bit of a push on Bitcoin right now. Off of the daily close yesterday, and we are pushing back into that quantum reactor. So obviously, we're going to be keeping an eye on that today. Also, taking a look at what's going on in the world today. We got a lot of jobs number stuff coming out. Nuclear power plants coming back. Shout out to BC Port Corp. He's been playing that one for a while. And then also a couple of things that are going on. BSOL, new ETF for Solana just launched. So we'll take a look at that too today, guys. You know what time it is? Yeah, Doom just said it. Hey, you guys know what time it is. We got to talk about the government shutdown. We're actually closer to the next shutdown than we are from the start of the one we're currently in. Keep that in mind. We're going to break all that down and a whole lot more today on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Let's get it. Class in session. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Morning Market Report. Doom, he said, dude, F this government shutdown. I didn't get a paycheck last week for my civilian DOD job. I did get 2 drill checks on the military side, though. Yeah, bro, I'm sorry to hear that, man. And this thing is real. Like it's crushing some people's, ways of life. Absolutely. So my heart goes out to you, man. 100,000 people in DC right now protesting, demanding a reopen of the government. We'll talk about what that looks like also and what they're actually saying. But yeah, let's go ahead and bring up my co-host of the show, my man, the myth, the legend, partner in crime, the Mexican Superman, OC guy. What's up, bro?
Let's go. Not much. Just here today, waking up a little bit earlier than usual. We have a new show on Piper Academy. Sorry, not Piper Academy, my bad. We have a new show on Chart Prime, which is a scalping session. So, guys, if you want to go check that out, that'll be fantastic. And, well, we can do some scalping, come back in here, take a look at the news, and then go back and do some more trading.
Wait a minute. There's a scalp trading show on Chart Prime's Discord?
Chart Prime. Today was the very first one. Today was a beta session. Yes.
Is it in Discord or is it also on Chart Prime's YouTube?
It's in Discord. It's exclusively in Discord.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. I did not know anything about that. See, look how disconnected I am from Chart Prime. If you guys don't know, there was a time I owned 3% of Chart Prime. And I said, yeah, you guys want me to work. And I don't work anymore. I'm retired here. Have it back. Yeah, did not know that. I'm far disconnected. But I still have the indicators because why would I get rid of the best tools in the industry just because I quit building stuff, right? Don't get rid of your hammer just because you quit being a carpenter, as Alex I would say.
Well, just so you guys know, and also that you still have the Voices Chart Prime role. You also are admin, and you also are support, and you also are master instructor. So, I mean, still your home.
It's still my home. Absolutely. 100%. But I no longer own the home. I just rent some space in it. All right, man. We got to get into some news today, OC. Government shutdown. I want to talk about that today. Because we're 28 days in on the government shutdown. And as the thumbnail said, all those ladies on there holding crypto signs, they're actually holding other signs about reopening the government. I just thought it was, I need my money to DCA into Bitcoin. Trying to make light of it. That's all I'm trying to do. But yeah, we're 28 days in on the current government shutdown. And we're 24 days away from the next one.
Dude, gotta be kidding me.
No, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. We are closer to the next shutdown than we are the one that we're currently in starting. So
explain me something really quickly, because I can wrap my head around this. How do you program the shutdowns? I mean, is it like, dude, this is going to be the scheduled shutdowns openings?
So it has to do with funding, or it has to do with government funding. And when that expiration date of government, like, hey, we're out of money, we need to agree on the next funding bill. If they can't agree on it, it just shuts down the government, which goes back to what I was saying yesterday, that we need to just do a thing that's, look, if you can't agree and you end up on a shutdown, you get tick marks against you. And if you get so many of those, you can't run again. And that would just, like right now, we would pretty much be sitting at a massive 100% across the board. Everyone is ineligible for their next election. So we're just going to swap everybody out. We're going to get new blood in there that maybe can do the job. But yeah, it's not looking good. But OC, I want to go over to chat. We'll go give a shout out to everybody. And then I want you to get the Bitcoin chart up and ready to go. Because you haven't, yeah, you did. You shared it over there. Cool. JR's in here. That's our community trader, guys. If you guys are missing out on this trade, that dude's printing money over there in our Discord. He said, "Good morning, Army Piper and OC." What's that, JR? Alexander G, the mod queen in the house, dropping links there. Help the channel grow. Yeah, help us out. We're trying to grow so we can get out to more people. Not trying to make a bunch more money. I was asked why we have a $5 window, a paywall in our Discord, and there's nothing available on a free side. And it's because when new people show up, they can't see who's in there if they haven't gone through the membership role. And so all they can do is see this is how you join or help ticket. That's it. And the help ticket only goes to crypto trades, and the other one just shows you how to link. You can't even comment in it. So at the end of the day, no one can see all of our members' names to send them DMs and send them bots and scams and fake connections. And hey, look, it's fake Piper. Here's my private group, all that stuff. So everyone is protected behind a $5 paywall. I wanted it cheap enough for everyone to be able to afford it, but enough that scammers would not pay $5 to join and scam people. So that's why it's there. So anyway, appreciate that, Alexander G. BC Port Corp in here with the CJ Taylor. That's my brother, my real brother from the same mother. Berkoshi No Dinero in here. Doom, I saw you, bro. Crypto Ben, Harp. Who else we got? We got Mike Play in here with us. We got Maba. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate it. Saying good morning. Good morning to everybody, man. Good morning to everybody. It's just another day. I won't say it's a good day or a bad day. It's just another day in the world. So BC Gold member. Yep. All right. Cool. OC, let's go take a look at the chart. What's Bitcoin telling us today? It looks like it's going to try to go, but I'm seeing some weakness in the actual stock market right now. So I don't know. We'll have to go take a look and see what you got on your chart. What do you got for us?
I know. All right, so Bitcoin's looking pretty strong, to be honest. But just like Piper was mentioning, and let me bring up gold. Gold is not looking that great. It seems like gold wants to make a bounce. And then what are we talking about gold if we're supposed to be talking about Bitcoin? That's because rotation of capital, all right? So we've been seeing gold actually being dumped or being taken profit on, which should be that money should be going somewhere, right? I mean, if you take some profits, you are supposed to be, well, not supposed to be, but most likely you see a rotation on investments, right? And what do we see jumping up? I haven't done a deep research, just so you guys know. So make sure that I make that disclosure. But the thing that is being pumping, it's being gold, which makes me see also, look at the dominance. Dominance is also growing. So we're having money extraction both from gold and from altcoins being injected into Bitcoin. Yesterday, we were talking about, hey, you know what? We're not on altcoin season. We're not on Bitcoin season, but we are getting that dominance there, which means that we should be seeing a couple of coins just blowing up like crazy, right? That is the actual thing what happens with CRO. Spoiler alert, I got stopped out. But it played out very nicely with Hype, Ethereum, and a couple of others, and like Fred. We'll take a look at that afterwards. Coming back to Bitcoin, all right? That's daddy at this point. We have a breakout. Not only any breakout, we actually have a pretty important breakout. Look at this trend line that comes all the way down since a dinosaur ruled the earth, right? All the way down here, hit, and we're making that break, right? It's not about the breakout. It's about the retest, and off we go. So we're about to hit this off. And by the way, I'm about to call that a long. In fact, I'm already into a long, but I need to make it public right now because we're looking for that flip of the ribbon. Our money flow is still looking good. The only thing that I'm not liking it is, and let me make this bigger, all right? Double clicking here. Let me get rid of all of the circles. And well, too much spaghetti for too early in the morning. And right here, this is what we were looking for, right? The flip of the ribbon. The flip of the ribbon is happening right now as we speak. Another thing that I'm not liking, it is the true 7 that is clipping and the volume matrix that is flat and getting a little bit red. Getting a little bit red doesn't mean that it could gonna wreck us, but could be a dangerous point and is looking or showing some weakness. So we are right here on a danger Will Robinson area, right? So let's go ahead and call it out. I'm gonna be moving, or I'm gonna be adding to my position to pair with what I'm giving. But I also need to make sure that I tell you that I joined in here, somewhere around here, very late at night yesterday, all right, at the bounce. But since we're calling it right now, let's push it over here. Our stop loss is going to be right below our wick. And of course, keep that wiggle room right down below. And we're going to be aiming up just a little bit ahead. Let me bring up another chart really quickly, and then I pass it over to you, Piper. And let me show you this support zone. If we start dividing this whole thing into little ranges, right? And this is, make no mistake, this is a megaphone, right? If we start dividing our megaphone, and let's take a look at that megaphone thing, like something like this, all right? If we start dividing our megaphone into um little ranges, all right, so the big range into little ranges, we have one ranging here, another ranging here, another ranging here, another ranging here, creating very important support and resistances. One of those, it is right now at this price action. Do I think that we're going to reject? I actually think that we're going to break and make something like this, all right? So that's exactly what we're going for, right? Let's go and grid another line in here so that our target is going to be 117,800 ish. Let's actually make that a little more obvious, right? And use our indicators. Hey, look, we are already in profits and I haven't taken that second position. So let's actually turn on our indicators and I want to see, there we go, support and resistances, right? So don't trust me, trust your indicators. So at this point, the very first resistance at 116, that's where we're going to be trying to push our stop to enter, or at least moving it closer to reduce our exposure. And then we're going to be aiming once again in 117,700 right in here, or 118 or 117,900, somewhere around these areas. So it's going to be your TP number 1, TP number 2, and I'm going to be marking this as danger, well, Will Robinson. All right. So this is going to be the trade that we're going to be taking. Let me pass it over to you, Piper, because you mentioned that you're seeing a little bit of weakness on the other side of the markets. What is it that's happening there?
Oh, it's on the stock side. I mean, we're not really getting a big breakout. Typically on Mondays when we get a good day, we have a little bit of a pullback. We're seeing some weakness on the growth, but it is a big earnings week. We multiple factors. One, we're 30 hours, I guess, away right now from about 29 hours away from the FOMC decision, which is tomorrow. We're also in the middle of earnings week, and earnings this week, we've got 5 of the 7 Mag 7 with earnings this week. So a lot of factors keeping some momentum going. A lot of push in the volatility world. It's not above 17 yet, but yeah, right now we should be seeing a lot more push than what we're seeing on the stock market. Bitcoin looking actually stronger right now, in my humble opinion. But let's go jump over to the news. Let's get into all of that and break it all down, and then we'll come back and talk about what I'm seeing on the Bitcoin chart. Look at the high time frame and all that stuff. Talk about some stuff. Let's do that. Some stuff about stuff. So over to the news. Oh, wait, hold on. Go back. Manon, he had a question about, is there a way to pay in USDT? And I said, unfortunately, no. The only way to do the monthly is to join with the link down below to get into the Discord. But we do allow USDT for those that don't have the ability to set up recurring payments and stuff on YouTube to pay the year. And it's like $60 a year. That's it. So $5 a month times 12. So not bad for access to the Piper plan and JR's trades and a lot of the community stuff. OC drops trades in there all the time and stuff too. So does LBC. We've got a pretty active community, but they're tight community. They're not huge. but they're active, they're tight, and we take care of each other over there for $5. So, all right, let's go get it in on the news. Let's do that. Take a look here what we're seeing on the Into the Cryptoverse. Into the Cryptoverse metric, guys. Looking at the crypto market cap right now, we're at $3.894 trillion. The trend on this is at $4.572 trillion, currently undervalued by 14.83%, but we are trying to push back up to that median. Will we ever get through this thing? Who knows? This entire cycle, with the exception of back here, which is back in 2024. That was the only time we broke above it, and once we came beneath it, it's been a resistance ever since. Looking at the Bitcoin current risk bands, we are at 51.3. That's a 2x DCA on the Piper plan. For those that don't know, now you know. With stable coins, we're at 59.06%. Without stable coins, we're at 63.9%. We're seeing this gap close a little bit. Dominance moving away from stables and back into Bitcoin as it grows. We are seeing a slight pullback, but it is on an upward trajectory again, moving to the upside. Let's go talk about this. Yes, the altcoin season index. Where are we at right now? We're sitting at 45.65. It's currently neither Bitcoin season nor altcoin season. We are getting a little bit of a pump today. This is higher than it was yesterday. Yesterday we were all the way down to 41%, but we're getting very close to Bitcoin dominance being Bitcoin season, I should say. When will the government shutdown end? As of right now, November 23rd. And I find this hilarious because you're going to see an article here in a little bit that tells you what November 21st is. And that means we may not have a government reopen in November either. It's stupid. They've got to come to some type of agreement. And there's a lot of people protesting right now to get that to happen. So looking at the crypto bubbles, looking at 1% upside right now on Bitcoin today, 0.5% upside on Ethereum. XRP has retaken that fourth spot from BNB. Told you that was likely to happen. It's up 1.9% today. BNB flat, and it's given that little shuffle there where XRP has moved back in to that level. I think, OC, I'm hearing your messages come through your Discord, bro. If you can shut that down, thanks. Yep. Dogecoin up about 0.3% today. Solana up 1.7 today on this Sol. That's the ticker. Where's my ticker? I just looked up to see tickers. I don't see tickers on my dang screen. There we go. It's coming back now. And so Sol, yeah, we're getting Solana move up to the 1.7 percent upside there. Hyperliquid's up 4.8%. Chainlink is up 2.5 to 1870. Not quite $40 yet. Or 800. 2.8% upside on Stellar. Leo token is up 5.4% today on that DEX. That's their native token there. Avalanche is up 0.3. And Hedera, H-bar, holy H-bar, Holy Balls, Alexander G. It's up 15.3% today. H-bar moving to the upside today and sitting in that number 19 position, rounding out number 20. It's Litecoin up 2.3% today. Let's take a look at the stock market. You can see here, DAX only at 0.3% today. S&P about flat, getting ready to turn over, honestly. Dow Jones up about 0.4. Small caps down almost 0.6%. And the VIX is moving up 1.84% to the upside at 1617. We start to get a lot of volatility. So Asia markets overnight, how'd that look? All red. European markets, FTSE and the MIB, both green, the CAC, the DAX, and the Stock 600, all in the red. Bonds market, 10-year treasury yield, pulling back. People are buying the yield again, guys. They're buying the treasury bonds. That's why it's red. If you don't know, when people are buying it, the number is down. So it looks like it's selling off, but it's actually being bought up. It's inverse. So we are seeing people fleeing back to the bonds right now. Oil down $60, still sitting above that threshold. That's an important threshold. It means, hey, we're weak, right? Below that level, we're sitting at that level right now. How's gold looking? $3,952, down 1.6%. Silver getting a little bit of a push to the upside, up 0.3%. But copper, platinum, and palladium all moving to the downside today. Also, we're seeing weakness. Wayfair stock surge 20% as earnings beat. That's a revenue jump. Just taking a look here to make sure I didn't get any new articles from when I started this morning. Nope. Okay, we're good. Let's go jump over here and take a look at X marks the spot right now. Bitcoin's Fear and Greed Index sitting at 50. It's currently neutral. Is there a new one on this? Maybe, baby. Nope. 5 hours ago. 5 hours ago. There we go. Sitting at 50. It's neutral right now. Fear and greed index on Ethereum sitting at 51, also neutral. Hey, check this out. Shout out to BC Port Corp. He's been telling you guys nuclear is the future with all of these power data centers that they're going to need power, right? Westinghouse, U.S. government signs an $80 billion pact to build nuclear reactors. OpenAI has asked the U.S. government to massively expand its energy capacity to stay ahead in artificial intelligence. In a filing to the White House, OpenAI called for 100 gigawatts of new power each year. Each year. To close the electron gap with China, we need more power as the AI growth is exploding. So the U.S. now has 10 times more data centers than Germany, the country with the second highest number of data centers, and China sitting over here with 449. Power is going to be the secret behind AI growth and AI adoption, and we cannot fall behind China in AI, the AI war race, right? So need power, and the only way we get that much juice, guys, is nuclear. Nuclear, as old George Bush would say, nuclear. Nailed it. Um, but yeah, we're seeing a lot of money flowing into now nuclear reactors in the U.S. Interesting to see. What else we got? UPS just disclosed that the company has eliminated 34,000 jobs this year, above the 20,000 cuts it previously said it was targeting. Amazon has also said it's cutting about 14,000 jobs. General Motors, has laid off more than 200 employees, and Target cutting about 1,000 jobs. That's only from their corporate side. They got about 800 across the force also on top of that, which is 1,800 jobs. Circle launches public testnet for ARC. This is also on X marks the spot today for some reasons here. USDC issuers new payments focused chain is backed by BlackRock, Visa, HSBC, and AWS, aims to bring real world finance on chain with USD based fees, sub-second settlement, and privacy controls. This is their own blockchain. This is not on anyone else's blockchain, just so you guys know. And then officially the longest Bitcoin cycle ever. And OC, I'd like to talk about this here in a little bit. So we're going to come back to this, but officially, this is the longest Bitcoin cycle ever, assuming the cycle hasn't already peaked. And you can see, based on if you put this all the way forward, that's where we would be. So we are now in uncharted territory with the current Bitcoin cycle extending further than we have ever before, assuming that we haven't already peaked, that is. And you can see here, peak, we're way past it. So based on how we typically do, this was the peak. We just passed the last one, which is 2015 to 2018. So I don't know. You guys tell me. OC, we'll talk about that in a minute. We still do have some data coming on this week, guys. Events this week. Tomorrow, Fed rate decision. We're going to get the Fed Chair Powell press conference where he's going to come out and either be hawkish or dovish and wreck the markets. Microsoft, Alphabet, and Meta earnings are all tomorrow. President Trump meets with President Xi on Thursday, and then Apple and Amazon earnings on Thursday also. So there's the 5 of the 7 Mag 7 that are still coming. If you don't have the ticker OCLO on your watch list, you need to put it there. OCLO, OKLO is the ticker for uranium, guys. And so that's what he's talking about there, BC Port Corp. Bro. In fact, let me bring that up here on the screen. Give me a second. I can do that. There we go. Add to the broadcast. There it is. Right there. If you don't have that ticker, put it on your chart. And I think that's it on X marks the spot today. Let's jump over to the economic calendar. ADP. There's a change to this, guys. This data is now changing. ADP employment change is now going to be weekly. In this lack of data coming out, they're going to cancel monthly, and there's going to be an every week report that is 2 weeks behind of the previous 4 weeks. Did you get that? Okay. It's going to be really crazy. So there's an article we're going to talk about on this too. ADP employment change. It doesn't give any previous. Why? Because they just started this. Today is the first time for it. So and then we had CB consumer confidence was at 95.6. That's a revision. They expected to be down at 93s, came in at 94. Consumer confidence slightly down right now. Tomorrow, guys, 1 p.m. my time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to get your rate decision. And then at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, you will get that Fed press conference. There's going to be a lot of YouTubers live going over that. I'll be over with Chart Hackers doing that with OC because that falls right in line with where we have a class at over there every week anyway. So, but yeah, that's going to be all tomorrow. And then, of course, all of those earnings calls that we talked about also. What are we looking at for flashbangs for rate cut? We're right now looking at a 25 basis point, no change to that, 96.7% chance that we get a 25 basis point rate cut. I still hear sound. Is that me? That must be me. I'm turning that off. There we go. 3.3% chance there right now that we see rate pause, no change. Let's go jumping in on the news. Private sector created nearly 15,000 jobs. This is that ADP report that I was just talking about. A week over the past month, preliminary ADP data shows. So private sector employers added an average of 14,250 jobs per week over the last 4 weeks, according to a new preliminary data being released by ADP. Stepping into the void created by the government shutdown, ADP will now release a 4-week average weekly change in employment with a 2-week lag every Tuesday. Today's number is a 4-week average that ended on October 11th. Of course, they couldn't get the monthly report right. So how the hell are they going to get get the report right on a weekly basis? I don't know. Of course, go down here and take a look. It will be revised monthly with the release of the NER. NER, guys, if you don't know what that is, that's the NER that it measures monthly job change in job growth during the week that contains the 12th of the month and provides detail of job growth by sector. So that's the National Employment Report. So they will be revisions on this, but we're going to get it every week. I don't think it's going to be that much. I don't think it's going to be that useful, honestly. I think it's just going to be more noise. Chegg. You guys know the company Chegg. They're laying off 45% of their workforce, blames new realities of AI. What else we got? Anybody else? Yeah, Amazon laying off about 14,000 corporate workers as it invests in more AI front there. We're just seeing job losses everywhere. The latest federal worker union. There's that picture from the thumbnail, guys. Latest are the largest federal workers union urges an end to the government shutdown. Let's go down here and see what they're saying. The largest union representing federal workers on Monday called for Democrats. I want you guys to listen to what's going on here. These are unions typically backed and paying homage to the Democratic Party, right? They're calling for the Democrats in Congress to end the ongoing government shutdown by voting for the stopgap funding measure that the Republicans have proposed. They're telling the Democrats to just agree with the Republicans' proposal and go run with it, right? And what is the cause and effect of this? Second and third order effects. One is they're calling out to the people that they have supported. Those people that they have supported in elections are now going to have to react to this massive group and go, yes, we're going to do it, or no, we're not going to do it, and then risk that damaged relationship down the line. I don't know. It's very interesting to see that they went that route instead of calling for the Republicans to bow down to the Democratic proposal. It's time to pass a clean, continuing resolution and end this shutdown today. Everett Kelly said, no half measures, no gamesmanship. Put every single federal worker back on the job with full back pay today, whose unions represent more than 800,000 federal and District of Columbia government workers. Because when the folks who serve this country are standing in line for food, banks, after missing a second paycheck because of the shutdown, they aren't looking for partisan spins. They're looking for the wages they earned. The fact that they're being cheated out of it is a national disgrace. The shutdown began on October 1st and has led to about 900,000 federal workers being furloughed. Senate Democrats have largely resisted voting for the clean resolution, which would fund the government through November 21st. There it is, guys. November 21st. This is how long this funding would last. That's 24 days from now. We're 28 days into a government shutdown. This is a resolution to carry us 24 more days until they get possibly another government shutdown, saying that they want any funding measures to extend enhanced Affordable Care Act tax credits. That's the hiccup between the Democrat and Republican bill resolutions and proposals. It's all about this $1.5 trillion. Those subsidies, which are due to expire at the end of 2025, lower the cost of Obama health care insurance plans for more than 20 million Americans, to include people like self-employed, to include people like the elderly, okay? So there's a lot of people that rely on that subsidized healthcare, but they're trying to remove it. They need to come to an agreement in the middle and say, look, we need to close the loopholes that allow illegals to use this through covered persons that states have these own identifiers for, like, oh, they meet these criteria, so they're a covered person. No, just because they're in a system for asylum approval doesn't mean that they've been approved yet. And no, they're not covered. And that's the whole thing. It's back and forth on this. Republicans, in turn, say the fate of the ACA tax credits should be addressed only after a funding resolution is passed. At least 60 senators need to vote for such a measure because of the Senate's filibuster rules. Republicans only hold 53 seats in that chamber, so they need 7 from the other side. In his statement, Kelly did not explicitly address the question of the ACA subsidies, but he seemed to refer to it, writing, reopen the government immediately under the clean continuing resolution that allows for continued debate on larger issues. Both political parties have made their point, and still there's no clear end in sight. Matter of fact, as we showed you back here, November 3rd. So not looking too promising there. There is no winning a government shutdown. They cost taxpayers billions, hurt small businesses, and erode confidence in the government itself. An absolutely true statement there. So yeah, guys, November 21st, that's all this government reopen would make it to. And then at that point, we have a whole nother situation of, do we get this approved? So say they approve it now and they go, okay, we'll debate this other thing about the ACA later. It's only going to carry us through to November 21st, to which they'll push it again. And we could end up getting another government shutdown on November 21st, 24 days from now, that carries into Christmas and the end of the year. And we know all those politicians aren't going to be sitting there in D.C. in December to talk about reopening the government. They're going to go home to their families and stuff like that and go on recess until the first of the year. So, yeah, you know how that's going to work. Let's just be honest here about it. Let's just call a duck a duck. What else we got? Google and NextEra to revive major Iowa nuclear facility as AI energy demands surge. Again, that nuclear power ticker OKLO, OKLO, that BC dropped in there. But yeah, there's another one here that they're trying to open up also. What else we got? Is this fresh? Let's refresh this. How are we looking here? How's October looking, OC? 1.618. 1.618. October. There we go. I think that's about it. I was going to talk about that. We'll talk about this later. BlackRock linked tokenization firms securitized to go public via a SPAC deal. So another BlackRock tokenization of real world assets firm scrutinized, going to go public, is going to be traded on the stock exchange. Might want to keep an eye on this. We'll talk about that one in a little bit. And then Bill Gates is softening his climate disaster approach. If you guys don't know, Bill Gates, and let's go over here and pull OC up. Bill Gates has been a very loud person when it comes to, we need to stop. We need to fund all this climate disaster stuff. And I just want to point out all the things that they've said that they wanted to do for climate change, as far as like clean energy and all that. Has anybody's electric bill gone down using the wind and the sun? I just checking. I'm asking for a friend. Just asking for a friend. In a letter published Tuesday, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates said too many resources are going towards climate change instead of issues like welfare and poverty. Oh, you think the people are more important here again, finally. Interesting. All right, that's all I got on Bill Gates. OC, let's talk about what were we going to talk about? We were going to talk about this chart here. Here we go. Let's come back here. Bring it back like we left something, OC. There we go. This longest Bitcoin cycle ever. If you look at where the peaks were at, based on how this grows, right? Look, peak. We're past it. This is officially the longest Bitcoin cycle ever. Is this proof of A super cycle.
Oh man, you really got me there. So yes and no. I really want to say yes, absolutely, that's going to happen. That also will enable for new targets, especially the the $500,000 target. But I just think that we're not there yet. I mean, the market cap is not big enough for us to get that. That kind of like a well, I estimate, right? I estimate that we're not just big enough to reach those targets, but it is an indication, right, that we are getting that cycle prolonged, right? We have been seeing cycle over cycle over cycle that we get elongated, right? So, is this proof of it? I would really like to say yes, but until something fundamentally changes, like a huge influx of what is it, the country trader, New York Guardian, Democrats.
Democrats are alienating the few voters they have left. Facts. Yeah.
Holy,
Yeah,
all
talking about that
right.
article I just read, but yeah, that's a great comment, man. Go ahead. Anyway, the Bitcoin cycle, squirrel. Let's go back to that talk.
Unless we had something fundamentally changing there, like hey, having a big chunk of money, having an influx on it. That being said, the ETF having a new, I don't know, institutional money influx in it that really pushes up in 2%, 3%, or a little bit higher than the full market cap of Bitcoin, we cannot for sure start saying that hey, we have the indication of that super cycle, right? Is this an elongated cycle? Absolutely. Because I mean, if you guys go to the stock to flow chart, we are seeing reflection of what it was programmed in Bitcoin, right? Let me bring
Oh,
this up.
I thought you were bringing it up.
Yeah.
I thought you were bringing it up, OC.
Let me see. I got it
Hot
somewhere
cow
around there.
farts, JR. Oh, by the way, shout out to Men in Meta, the one that we were talking about earlier. He joined the membership, so we'll see you in the Discord, bro. It's good to have you, man. OC, let's take a look at stock to flow, bro. What are you seeing?
Perfect. Let me bring it up. Here it is. The stock to flow, and let me verify that I'm a human. Oh, I'm not a human. All right. I don't know what's going on in here. There it is. All right.
Evidently,
Perfect.
Mexican
I'm
Superman
not a
does not
human.
identify as a human. Danger, Will Robinson, OC.
Danger will shows. Absolutely. So we're seeing the same thing that is being programmed into the data and that the model wants to show us, which is flattening out, right, of the cycle. At the end of it all, these outliers, despite this is what we are looking for at this point, we're seeing a constant and expected. That is the most important part. So if you're doing Bitcoin, this is what we're expecting, flattening out, ironing down these blow off tops. And last cycle was the first one to actually have a double top. So what are we going to be having this time? Maybe flat top? I mean, look at the color that we had at that period. And I don't know what the heck I did, but let me just refresh it. And think that that never happened. But look at the color where we have in here and look at the actual color that we had in here, right? If you follow that same color, well, that is right before the cool off, right? Which is the bear market. So question is this is going to be the first cycle where we don't have a blow off top? I think that could be another possibility, right? The longest cycle, quote unquote, but also the first cycle that we finally iron down the blow off top. What do you think about that, Piper?
I think that is an interesting point that you're making there. That is the color of the top. Show me what the top looks like. Well, it looks like this, and that's where we are right now. And we're still having that same issue. Men and I was just commenting back to you. He said he got an error trying to connect to Discord. You got to use the same email address. So if you don't have the same email address, you may need to adjust that to connect. Let's go take a look at the chart over here, OC. And man, if you have an issue, you can always open a ticket. Crypto Trades to help you out in the chat. But we're in a live show right now, so I can't help you, bro. Looking here where we're doing right now in this pullback of Bitcoin, we did get the little pump up, little slight break above the 382 and the quantum reactor, which is what we talked about yesterday. And now it looks like we are trying to push for a pullback. OC, I'd like to see on your oscillator, are we doing a continuation goose head here on the old shape of the oscillator? And I know I can pull it up, but I know you also have that up all the time. And I'm curious, is this little swoop that we're doing here going to be setting up for a goose head, inverse goose head to the downside? What do you got on your chart there?
That looks like something really possible. If we zoom out in here, it seems like we are getting ready for an inverted goose head, right? This is the one that you were talking about, right? This inverted goose head for a possible little pump up and then down continuation. Is that what you were asking? If that
Yeah,
is, I
absolutely.
think
That's
so.
what I'm seeing. Yeah, that's what I thought I was seeing. I'm learning how to use the ribbon, the thin ribbon, to see what you see on the shape one. I don't know. This one's very clean, but that one's not. That one doesn't. The shape's not there. So, Drew P, appreciate you sending one Piper Academy gifted membership. That was picked up by Eric the Red. Um, Eric the Red. I told you guys we should get rid of Columbus Day and have Eric the Red Day. Now we have Eric the Red in our Discord. So appreciate you being here, man. And Drew P, appreciate that. Let's go here. There we go. And let's take a look at the higher time frame on Bitcoin and what we're seeing over here, guys. On the daily, we do have a little bit of a movement up. We're higher here than the dynamic reactor right now. Got to bounce off that quantum reactor on the daily. The one back here, these are 4 hour, right? There's your dynamic reactor, quantum reactors are current resistant. But on the daily, we are sitting above both of these levels here, right? We did get the reversal down here that printed from Chart Prime saying, hey, it's time to go up. We had all the bottom indications come across the MVP oscillator. We are getting growth channels on the daily here on the histogram, higher and higher, but they're starting to get less of a jump. So maybe we're getting ready for another flat rounding out here. Money flow overall, though, is coming downward. So keep that in mind. We're on the daily, we're seeing a money flow drop, and then you can see volume down here is on its way down also. And it's actually bearish volume right now on the daily. So, what about the RSI Prime oscillator? Check it out. RSI primed here, guys. See these big gaps here to jump to the next candle? We're starting to round out there too. And when you start to see that happen, what do you get? It doesn't need to change color. It just needs to look at the shape of the candles. These Heikenashis give you those reversals. We start to get them. Let's go back here and find some more. Look, shorter, 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 shorter. What happened? Little pullback and then consolidation, right? So we're not out of the woods as far as what we're seeing on the bullish side of this, because we are starting to get that rounding out. I do think that we are going to get some type of push rally to do some more liquidity sweeping. But the real thing we need to watch is over here, as I've pointed out numerous times on the weekly, we are sitting above the bull market support band right now. So it is giving us support, but we need to close some weekly candles above this and hold it as support in order for us to have that bullish move there. Um, According to the cycle profit taking bands here, we're 7 days away. 7 days away. It would be November 3rd. Is the end of the cycle according to this. So, and this is based on the mathematics of when the halving starts, when you start your DCA bottom in, and all that, right? So, yeah, we're 7 days according to this. That's all I got to say about that. OC, what do you think? 7 days? 7 days is the ring.
7 days, man. I don't know, maybe, probably, and that also kind of fits within the start of November. So the question would be, let me bring up that idea that because I was looking at the structure flow yesterday, right? I think that we still have a little more run up to go, right? Slightly. I do think that we need a pullback to dynamic reactor somewhere around 112 and then maybe continuation. I think we're gonna peak out or peak up somewhere around 140 something, 120 something, right? No, this is not it. Just so you guys know, right? This is not it. But that will depend on what we do up next. Like, for example, if we have an extended cycle, most likely we're going to have our bounce at 100K once again and then burst to the upside. But so far, this is what I'm trying to see. Like, look at the volatility, more volatility, more volatility, bigger volatility, higher volatility, right? So I'm looking for maybe this last run up, right? And then start looking for a support on the center. If we get that support on the center and we stay above the zero line, I believe that we have a real chance to have a quote unquote extended cycle and even get somewhere around, that 150, 140s, even the 200s for the last run up, which by the way will still be within the stock to flow cycle. So the stock to flow cycle shows somewhere around 340 or something like around those things. But remember, stock to flow, it's just a guidance. It's not a target making machine. Last time we tried to do that, remember, it did not play out for many of us. All right. And that's because it's a model. It's not meant to tell you exact targets. Another important part is that we are right now a little bit on the water, getting closer. I don't like this retracement. And well, then in that case, we could be looking for an early flip of the ribbon to the downside. We'll see how that develops. We still have a little chance to bounce back up. And if we do, close that long and then get out of that trade. By the way, just so you guys know, I already have moved, as we were talking, moved my stop to entry from my original trade. And the next trade I'm taking right now on BTCC, which is this one that we took together, well, it's a little bit underwater, waiting a little bit more to have that last run up for then the big retracement. But so far, that's what I think. But do you think that we're going to have, maybe instead of a elongated cycle or a super cycle, a flat cycle? What are the chances of it?
I don't know. I'm pulling some data right now for some charts for the monthly returns. I'm actually curious about something that I'm going to go over it. Breakdown for November on Bitcoin. Here, we'll go over here. We'll do this real time. On 2021 and 2018, and that would be 2014. Let's see. So I'm looking at this right now. What it's doing, pulling up for me, guys, is this chart here. Let's go talk about this. Because if you look, November has an average upside of 46.2%, 0.2%. Okay, the median is 10% average upside for November, which we're getting ready to head into. Okay, but if you look at where we are, we're in 2025. Go back to 2021, 7% average downside. 2018, 36.5% downside. And then, of course, the bear market the following year, right? 2022, 2019. 2014 had 12.82% after a red October, and then 19.27% after a green October. So that was what we saw in the first cycle of Bitcoin. Since then, we've had a red November for our follow-on of the final year of the 4-year cycle. And I want to see what she breaks down here for us. She said November 2021 return was 39.93. That is not correct. You are wrong, lady. Is it? Yeah, that's October, lady. Come on, Pam, get with it. Come back in here. There we go. Oh, that was October. There we go. November. Return 36.57% for November 8, 2018. And I needed to relook at that. Get November's for 2021, not October. Pull the right stuff, Pam. Let's go. Here's the November only breakdown for 2021 based on your chart. 7.11%. So overall, what is the average on that? What's the average for those 2 years? Let's see here. BC Portcourt said he just dropped 2 lists in the TradFi chat in the Discord for AI investments and nuclear investments. Shout out to BC Portcourt. We're looking at an average downside of 21.84% for November when we look at the final year of the cycle. So 7.11%, 36.57. Pam is telling us that's a 21.84% downside move on average for the last year of the 4-year cycle. So I don't know, guys. If we go into November and this thing holds and starts to show green, October closes in the green, we could see some stuff. But I think right now we have to assume that the cycle top may be in, and that is a reality. So I told Alexandra G, called her the other day and said, "Hey, let's look at these levels here because there might be a profit-taking window here to ultimately hold some dry powder for the next cycle." And why do I think that? What is the mindset on that? uh, I'm still doing my weekly DCA. Just because I take profits doesn't mean that I'm out of the market, right? I take my profits, I protect my capital, and then I start to continue my weekly DCAs, right? Based on what the Piper plan says. And what I'm doing is I'm just building up more Bitcoin as we go, but protecting what I've made, right? The end of the day, it's not about catching tops and bottoms and just diamond hands. It's about protecting your capital. And if you have unrealized gains that decrease, yeah, it's unrealized losses because it was unrealized gains, but you haven't protected your capital. And at that point, you can lock it in and it becomes capital for even more buy in. At the end of the day, is it better to put money into something that continues to go up on a weekly basis or to put money into something that goes down on a weekly basis? Your thoughts, OC?
I would say, well, DC comes with a couple of differentiations, differences. Period. Thus difference, I would say that it's better to set on a basis, regular basis, and then start growing it up. I mean, but if you have the chance to start timing those drops, I think that will make I mean, way, 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 way better of a result. Not sure if I'm answering your question.
Well, because when you have a pullback, so let's say you have a 50% pullback on something, right? It
Yeah.
takes a 100% move to get back to the price that you started buying in. Now, mind you, as it goes
Right.
down, you are buying in with bigger amounts, right? The wristbands that we do a dynamic DCA. For those that don't know, our DCA plan is a dynamic DCA. So it's based on wristbands. Wristbands increase as or decrease, which means you add more as it goes down. So you might be doing $25 a week, but next week it's $50 for the week because it's a times two, or $75 because it's a times three. No, I do not have my short from 126. I sold that. Took massive profit on it though, bro. Let me tell you. But I am watching again for another entry, Drew P. So shout out to you. Yeah, I shorted from 126 and held that thing for a good run and made a lot of money on it. Um, but if you look at the idea that DCAing on the dynamic DCA works, don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. It works on dollar cost averaging as you go down and adding more and more weight the lower it goes. So when it springs, you have much bigger because you started investing up here a very light amount and it grew as the price went down. And so your biggest amount was at the bottom, right? However, pause for effect. Splash out, shots over. If you know, you know. When you look at it, that's field artillery slang there. When you look at feeding winners versus losers, you can always feed a winner. You cut your losers, and they're coming down. If it's not something like Bitcoin, like altcoins, I cut them all. Nope, they're coming down, and I'm not buying until I see strength on the charts. But something like Bitcoin, I am okay with feeding it either way. If it continues to go up from here after I took my profits, I will continue to put money in that and I will feed the winner, right? Because it's making money. My capital that I protected is gaining more capital regardless. Where if it's going down, I'm actually losing capital until a later period. So I'm okay with feeding winners, OC. I will feed winners and cut losers
And
every single time. So
absolutely. And I mean, if we go to the charts really quickly and let's take a look at the charts on weekly, Bitcoin is just a winner. I mean, look at that. Let me know when we have a bearish structure, where we have had a bearish structure. Let's even go to Bitstamp 1 week, right? You guys let me know when we have had a bearish structure on the weekly, right? So talking about feeding the winners, well, we buy on retracements, right? And we take profits at when we're going up, right? So I mean, the perspective is how long you're gonna be holding a coin, and I think you are spot on in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, we're looking at a growing trend until we have an actual, like lower high and a lower low, like in this case right here. But we haven't seen that, and I don't think we're gonna be seeing that within the next 10 years. I really don't want to buy my thumb in within the next possible market I don't know depression, because we know that we have cycles, but still I will be okay buying Bitcoin just like you are, and that is because the way that Bitcoins moves, right? My perspective for the longer run, while in some other coins, like for example Ethereum, it's way, way, way more shorter. So my perspective actually changes, and I cut down the losers. Something important, if we go something like I don't know the 12 hours, and like that, you have a set of tools, like for example your dynamic reactor, and then when you start losing your dynamic reactor, there we go. You just stop your DCA. And then when you go back above your dynamic reactor, you can start back your DCA, right? Depending on coins, like for example, Ethereum, like for example, Solana, like for example, I don't know, Cardano, Link, so on and so forth, whatever you like, except meme coins, by the way. So yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, and I will be better off adding, for example, weekly on something that goes up, just like gold and Bitcoin, and that's basically it up to right now. And then cutting your losers, for example, with other stuff like meme coins or altcoins altogether.
Absolutely. I'm laughing at the chat. Username said, BC, what's more believable, Link at $800 or ADA at $10? And JR said, don't say ADA. He'll turn up with the sales pitch. I've heard if you look in the mirror at midnight and you say ADA, 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 he will appear to tell you how you are not making money in the Cardano ecosystem, because that man's that smart with it. So. Shout out to Ada Ace, man. If you guys don't follow him, you should. The man knows that system back and forth. I put this on X yesterday, OC. Before we go, I want to share this with people. I said, hey, life hack. This is how you, I put it in our Discord too. I said, life hack. This is how you get your electricity for free. This was my electric bill for the month from Farmers Electric Cooperative. Okay. And I put it on my Coinbase One card. I get 4% back in Bitcoin on it. Okay, cash back. So that was $12.12 in Bitcoin rewards that I made off of that. And so I said, hey, I need you to take all of this based on this picture. How long would it take for me, my earned Bitcoin, to be worth what I paid on the bill? And she talks about the compounding down here. Check it out. Year one, $12.12 with its growth of 90% average annualized, 2303. Year two, 2303 to 20.73 becomes $43, and it goes on and on. It's compounding Bitcoin growth, right? $300 by year five. So yeah, life hack. The Bitcoin that I make off of what I spend will erase what I spent on an average of 5 to 6 years on everything that I put on this card. Life hacks. Life hacks. That's I'm all about the Bitcoin, guys. Don't think that just because I took profit, I ain't about the Bitcoin. But yeah, life hacks. I love them. I was like, man, if I could put my mortgage on this card, holy balls! Like, how much did you pay for your
Incredible.
house? Nothing.
It was a
All
free
right,
home,
OC.
man.
It was a free home. Yeah. I can tell everybody that Trump bought my car and Bitcoin bought my house. Satoshi Nakamoto bought my house. Trump bought my car, and everything would be great. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everyone joining us here today. OC, I know you got to run off to a class over there. We got 43 viewers on YouTube right now, almost 30 on X. So if you guys are over on X watching, make sure you come over to YouTube. Unfortunately, we get nothing except for your love, attention, and support on X. But if you would love to help us out with the algo, come over and check us out and subscribe over here on our YouTube channel. We'd appreciate you there too. Trying to grow so we can get this info out to more people. You'll never hear me shill garbage tokens. I don't take any deals with anybody, and except for Chart Prime, and that's because I believe in their product and I've used it for years. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But OC, I know you got to go, man. You got anything for people on the way out?
Not much. Remember to click that like button, really helps with the algorithm, and we see you back, guys, here at the morning.
Awesome. Appreciate you, OC. All right, guys, make sure you guys tune in to OC tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with chart trade setups with OC Guy. He's going to be doing that like he does every night, and he's awesome at it. So if you guys want to get some good trade setups, make sure you check him out there tomorrow morning. BC Port Corp should be back over here doing Good Morning Crypto. I'm not sure. I don't have time to look at TLT right now. BC, we got to go. We got to go. He looked at TLT on his show Sunday night. Lunar Beach has said. So yeah, we're TLT. That's the one to watch. That's your dollar. It's bond, treasury bonds for those that are wondering. But yeah, guys, we appreciate you all. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. And remember, a lot of volatility today. Today is the day that we have of everyone maneuvering for what's coming tomorrow morning. And that's going to be FOMC tomorrow afternoon and the rate cut decisions. We've got some earnings reports tomorrow. It's going to be a crazy, crazy market day. So make sure you guys are tuned in right here. Get the full breakdown of everything you need to know to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management. And as always, peace, love, and profits. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Later.
That's the rap. Chart stack, data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
They don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out. Ow, ow, ow.
Boom shakalaka.
Good
We'll
girl.
see you at the next one. Morning market report. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?